Hey, what's good, Web3 Secret Society fam? I'm back from the gym. I don't know if you guys check out the fitness channel, but I just spent the last 2 hours on the Stairmaster. I'm going to Europe and I will be in the interim because we're doing a lot of pool parties and such. I want to cut a bit of fat, so I'm burning every single calorie that I eat. Um, by sort of doing Stairmaster and still controlling everything. But how are you guys doing tonight? We see we got a couple people in here already. We got Jordan, thumbnail skills on point. Appreciate it. Hope I got the message across. I don't like the white typically, but it's the only way I can find that template. DR Darkness is hyped. Kirby Hernandez, sup. John Matthews, Strat. We got Claudia, putting down Spellborn for a second to come join us, which is cool. So guys and girls, let me tell you, the reason I wanted to talk about this is highly time sensitive. I'm not above being wrong about strategies and pivoting. I still think HyperLiquid is a massive opportunity, but sometimes when you don't know stuff, you've got to dig a little deeper and do the research. And I've spent a bunch of time trying to learn exactly what we need to do with HyperLiquid. I put together a Notion document sort of covering a lot of the summary of the most important points so I don't forget anything. But at the same time, I want to share with you exactly my approach, my strategy, and draw some parallels to a lot of the things we're doing. So I hope that will make sense. Now, the first thing I will say is why HyperLiquid, right? Like probably you guys are like, why is HyperLiquid important? Well, as you know from our previous streams and the monthly stream that we typically have talking about our plan, which by the way, guys, spoiler alert, that will be coming out on Saturday. We're going to have a session on the July plan going forward, sort of kind of once again, recalibrating because we don't live in a vacuum. It is nice that, we've got these, one-of opportunities here and there, but let's look at this stuff holistically. Let's take a look and reevaluate what our priorities should be. And based on that, you can make a decision on the way you choose to approach, right? So I know these kind of videos are very well received, so we'll make sure we do it again. But HyperLiquid is a perpetual DEX. It's a lot more than that, but let's just start there. So when you have a perpetual DEX campaign, right, the number one reason I tell you guys always to get into these things is we get in as speculative investors. We're banking on an airdrop. We're not here to be part of the community. We're here to capitalize. And then if you want to actually, continue staying here, so be it. I remember I've dealt with so many people who will take up moral high ground on earning money on certain things. At the end of the day, that's up to you. There are a couple people who decide, hey, I don't want to touch meme coins and, just because of what they represent. Well, that's great. But I'm here to make money. So even though I'm not a meme coin connoisseur, I will do it as long as it's profitable. You know what I'm saying? So the same thing goes with perpetual dexes. So the way perpetual dex works is typically you will have to either create a long or short position. These are synthetic. These are synthetic in the sense that they're not real, right? You're basically making a bet on the price in the future, either up or down, right? Now, unlike options contracts in the stock market, where they are very time limited, the way that these are used is there's a funding percentage. And they're not bad, but if the price of the asset goes one way or the other, like in a massive direction from the current state, so like let's say you shorted 30% higher because it's gone down 30, because it's gone up 30% since then. Well, your funding rate will be obviously much higher, and it's basically to incentivize people to take the opposite end of the trade and sort of make it more delta neutral for the platform. Now, here's the thing. When you're thinking about airdrops, you want to look at friction. Friction is the number one thing that matters. Take a look at Jito. Now, Jito, the reason it was successful, it had a lot of things going for it. Number one, airdrops were not commonplace. So people weren't thinking, oh my God, I can make a bag by sort of staking Sol and getting my Jito Sol. People also, if they were in the market, weren't looking to do those activities, right? And also Sol versus EVM at the time was not as sort of commonplace. In the bear market, most people were sitting there on EVM. So if Jito was on in Ethereum, it likely would have done way worse. But as soon as people found out about Sol being so like doing so fantastic, Sol's had an incredible narrative this cycle, up like 16x from the bottom of the FTX collapse. Well, being on Sol, being on EVM is not friction anymore. So what is friction? Well, friction is anytime somebody doesn't want to go on another chain. And when I say another chain, I don't count like Base or Blast. Those are very easy to get to. They're easy to swap your liquidity to. But going into something that's unknown, unsure. So if you're thinking about the Say airdrop, this is why the Yaka Finance airdrop, I think, will be a fantastic opportunity. I think it will be less diluted than something like Chroma because it's typically not on EVM. And even though they did do a cross compatibility thing, there are some components of it that require you to be on the same network. Perpetual DEXs have a very unique proposition in the fact that people are scared of them. Why? Because anytime an idiot has used them, they've lost money. If you are not responsible, if you are greedy, if you cannot control yourselves, you will lose money in perpetual DEXs. That's just the reality of it. And a lot of people have been burnt before and know better than to go back in the lion's den. So perpetual DEXs on average are very underfarmed. Now, even more so when perpetual DEXs find a way to not value wash trading, which is what HyperLiquid does. So if you look at Orderly Network, if you look at LogX, you can just open and close a trade, pay your $2 in fees, and earn the points for your volume. All right, you're basically doing a sort of OTC type of buying the airdrop. This is not possible with HyperLiquid. They do not want that behavior. They want the token, their hype token, to go to people who are actually interested in perpetual DEXs and the ecosystem, not people who are here to sort of trade up a few dollars and trade down. This, in fact, was a mistake that I was making the first week. Why? Because I was so used to Orderly, I was so used to Zeta, not giving a shit. And the end of the day, you know, like, I'm not saying I open and close a trade just to like pay for the fees. I would actually earn a small bit of profit and close the trade. And what would happen was when I would do that, I would earn the points on Orderly or Zeta in the form of Z-score. And then I would also earn a bit of profit, which is what I told you guys, right? Plus EV moves, earn the points, the airdrop is a bonus. Not the case in HyperLiquid. So let me go through why I'm very bullish on HyperLiquid. And first thing I want to say is, if you're wondering, probably the most common question I get asked before, and by the way, just so you guys know, I will not be releasing this to the YouTube for at least a month. If that, you guys let me know in the Discord if you even want me to release it at all. This is alpha for you guys, okay? But at a minimum, it would be at least a month, because once again, there's got to be, I want to make sure you guys have an edge over the rest of the market, right? While we're saying hi, hey, IR Nobody, and good morning, Scappa. How are you guys doing? So yeah, just let me know what you think, if you even want this to ever see the light of day on YouTube. It doesn't have to, right? I can keep it as an unlisted video for you guys. But just so you guys know, the points program had a bit of an alpha stage where, like, you know, they gave out points all the way up to May, and now they're giving out points every week for 4 months starting May 29th, which means that we have about 9 weeks left in this campaign, but that's more than enough to get your fair share, and also to capitalize on something that people are overlooking. And I'm going to show you exactly what that is, okay? So I've sort of wrote some comments so I don't forget. I've already mentioned sort of the campaign airdrop going on for about 9 to 10 weeks. The hype token, pretty good token name actually. HyperLiquid is also like an L1 chain. So it's not just a perpetual DEX. They're going to have an L1 chain. And what's really awesome is they refused having any VC funding. They did not do any, they don't have any insiders. So typically what you see with like something like ZK Sync and others, they got tons of funding. They're beholden to their investors. By the time something launches that's good, you end up as retail or whatever paying like 20 to 100x what the insiders did. And then you're afraid of token unlocks and things like that because then you're screwed. This is not the case with HyperLiquid. So HyperLiquid will actually be having an actual decent valuation. Number one thing, fantastic. From a perp dex standpoint, it's very fast. So you can do like 20 transactions a second. This is very important when you're trying to do trades. I don't know if any of you have used Zeta Chain. I know some of you, like I think James will mention, so annoying when you're trying to close a trade. You're trying to, you're trying to just hit the close button. The network is congested on Sol at the time. And sometimes it just misses. It doesn't go through. You miss that sort of spike. Not the case here. These things are really fast. On top of it, it doesn't use any gas. So you can basically authenticate your wallet in HyperLiquid. And then what happens is once you've done that, hey, guess what? You're home scot-free, and now all the gas is free on chain, which is actually pretty good. So I mentioned this before too. The team wants to avoid gaming, so they don't share the criteria. No one knows how to earn points. That's the reality. No one knows. You ask in the Discord, people are like, yeah, no one's sharing that information. No one will tell us. But we know that wash trading doesn't work because people have tested this stuff in there. I are nobody. I'm going to talk about that in a second. I'm going to get into it. So don't worry. Make sure, put your questions in here, but I'm going to go through all of this, okay? The next thing I will say is also it's low funding rate. So having been somebody who's been trading perpetual dexes, like in Orderly, in Zeta, in Drift, this one is so far the best one, lowest funding rates I've seen. So definitely big. Okay. Now, here is the number one thing that makes me super bullish and something that I've learned about through sort of learning on Twitter. So there are two people that I've linked in the description below. Like I said, I'll show you guys their Twitters after. Very good alpha. Okay. But the meme coin for HyperLiquid, the team actually built their own meme coin. It's called purr for hyper, right? HyperLiquid. It also sort of capitalizes on the cat imagery. So it's the top meme coin on HyperLiquid. So a couple things why this matters. It was sort of created by the team, airdropped by the team to points holders, right? So if you earn points on HyperLiquid, you got this token. It's a top meme coin, which means that it will likely act as the beta play. What that means is think about like Pepe. So every time Ethereum goes up 5x, Pepe is like a 4 to 5x of that amount typically. Same with Brett on Base, right? Think about like, what is it, like Whiff on Solana, right? Redog on Ton. These all work the very same way. Now, I mentioned created an airdrop by the team to HyperLiquid users. Another thing is you're going to earn HyperLiquid points just for holding this, right? So I think I didn't show you guys. Did I show you guys? No. Here's how I did on week 1. And this is what really opened my eyes up to how different this was than everything else. I'm going to share with you guys what week 2 looks like, because in the middle of week 2, I changed my strategy. But week 1, I did a ton of wash trading. I did the orderly approach, and I only got 4 points. And I don't want 4 points. I want a lot more. The points are currently worth, I think, $3 or $4. If I go to Whales Market, I'm just going to open this up while I talk. Whales Market typically will have this. I believe it was at $3 or something like that. Yeah. Right now you can sell a point for 386, and people are selling for 490 and buying them for 386. Very, very valuable, right? Very worthwhile. kind of gives you an idea. So these points are going to be worth something, and obviously if you earn something, you want to sell it, go for it. I'll let you guys know tomorrow how I did. So like hopefully I'll find out tomorrow, because I think that'll be 72 hours from the end of July 16th. That should show me how many points I've gotten, and hopefully through that we'll know how good this change in strategy has gone. Okay, so going back here, the meme coin purr, you get HyperLiquid points. You'll also get airdrop the hype token. So this is also huge. Another thing is this token, I believe, is deflationary. So the like I forget how it works, but part of it does get burned. So the token is continuously going to have lower supply. Right now, this token is sitting at 19 cents. It's got like a total supply of 598, max supply of 1 billion. I think based on this that 400 million of the token have already been burnt, because I think that's sort of how they sort of capture fee and revenue, because the market cap and the FDV are the same. So that would not be the case if there was still some left to be distributed. As you can see, though, the token has been doing well. I still think it's very undervalued. 115 million market cap on a token. It is super undervalued. Think about Brett. Brett has nothing going. Brett is just marketing, and it's worth like 10x this. This is going to be on one. It is the best. I will tell you guys unequivocally, HyperLiquid is the best deck so far. And here's some other really cool things. What I want you to realize is if you've been in the Cosmos ecosystem, if you have like Celestia, if you have Atom, if you have Osmo, you've already experienced this phenomenon where if you hold the token, you get airdropped all the new tokens. This is what happens for purr. I was sitting there, and the other day, I go to this right here, trade history. I'll just show you. I got the pill token sent. I didn't buy this token. I got the pill token sent to me. So I just went in and sold it. It was like $100 or $150 worth of tokens for free. I just got it for holding purr. And at the time, I was only holding like, I don't know, maybe $500, $600 of purr. I got like 1/4 of that value just sent to me. And what I found out was pretty much every time a new token launches, they airdrop it to purr holders. So yet another reason to hold this token. This is my number one objective in this space. Holding purr token, building that bag at 100 mil, super undervalued in my opinion. Like I said, not financial advice. Guys, like you'd never hear me talking about a non-ETH or BTC or SOL thing like this, okay? Not even close, okay? Now, like I said, this all depends on the information we learn. But number one, I'm going to tell you guys how I did grabbing this token, like in terms of value. To put in perspective, ever since, like right before I went on stream, I went and bought, where the hell is this thing? Sorry, I have so many tabs open. Oh my God, where did I put it? Oh, here it is. Okay. So I went and bought, I bought a bit more. So I went from $600 in purr token. I now got $3,400 in purr token. Like I said, you guys, you do whatever you got to do. Like it all depends on your allocation and everything. I'll show you guys how to do this. Also, I don't know how it worked, but I'm not on VPN and it's not asking me to be. So I think I like juked it. So like I was navigating this while on VPN then disconnected, and I don't think it's rechecked. I don't know how it tricked it, but hopefully I don't have to turn the VPN on, because that would make it so this stream would be very slow and you wouldn't hear the words. So this is the main reasons for purr token, okay? So here's my strategy. First thing I'm going to say, and I or nobody asked this question about the volts. Where is this? Adding money in Volt will get yield rewards only. That's right. Avoid using the volts. They're risky. They're not a guarantee for liquidity. Let me show you what I mean. If you go to volts here, right? The hyper liquidity provider is the only one that has a positive APR that's reliable, but I don't think it's that great. The user volts are like kind of hit and miss. So literally this is just a gamble. if you go in here, you have to lock it up for at least 4 days, I believe. Yeah, the deposit lockup is 4 days. The vol performance, 3.1 million. But like I said, if you want to put some in here, go for it. I would rather just have per token if you're going to do that. I'll just be honest with you. Yeah, so GR Darkness, I'm going to show you guys how to do all this stuff. So yeah, I'll get to it right away, okay? So once I'm done explaining my thesis, I'm going to share with you the approach, okay? So this whole video is going to be all about that. So the next thing is to hold per, okay? Now, what happens about this also is there are tokens that get launched, and you'll likely get airdrops for most of them. And then the other ones, you could also buy them when they're early and then trade them into purr. So they basically show up as spot launches on HyperLiquid. Now let me show you how this works. So the first thing I'm going to recommend for you guys is, if you haven't already, go into the description and you'll find my referral code. So my referral code is this right here, right? You'll find it in the links below. You get like a 4% discount on your fees, and I get 10%. So like, you know, it's nice. Like I said, you don't pay anymore. You actually pay less. So would appreciate if you used the code. I am going to apply to get an affiliate code just because I do have a YouTube channel. I don't know how that's going to work, but what you do is you have to go into your portfolio. So to fund, you go to portfolio and you deposit funds to HyperLiquid. Okay. So you click on deposit, and then you basically have to deposit from Arbitrum, right? The other chains will come soon. If you don't have USDC on Arbitrum, what you have to do is go to something like Jumper Exchange. As you know, Jumper Exchange is really good because you just sort of use whatever you want. Like let's say I want to trade Matic into Arbitrum USDC. There we go. I just gotta wait for this stupid thing to load. So I can just basically trade this here. I won't be doing this because I'm not trading my Matic for this low, but you could literally just make the swap or whatever. So I'll just go like this, and you'd be able to sort of do this. So Jumper Exchange will allow you to trade whatever, bridge and swap at the same time. So it's pretty good. But then once you've done that, go into Arbitrum, and you can deposit USDT, USDC, or USDC.E. Once you've done that, you then have the opportunity. So on the bottom, you see balances. You're able to transfer to spot, which is what you'll need to buy per token. Perps is what you need if you're trading, which we'll talk about in a second. But you transfer to spot, so you see I can put like, I don't know, I can put 9,990 and hit confirm. Just so you know, before you deposit, there is a $1 withdrawal fee. So if you do deposit on HyperLiquid, every time you withdraw, you pay $1 as a fee, okay? And I've been on here for 2 weeks. You can see here, guys, I did $1 million on volume and got like 4 points. So, I mean, I think I did like a little less, and I think I got like 500K and did that at the time. I did fat finger, and I accidentally went like super long. I pressed 1 to buy 1 ETH, and I ended up putting 100%. So it bought like 70 ETH, and I got scared, so I instantly closed it and paid like a $200 fee because I bought and sold, and the price stayed flat at the time. But my God, like what a waste, what a waste of dollars. So what you can do is, once you've gotten the money in the account, right? So you got the USDC here, you then go back to trade, okay? And you click on this button here, like the top left, all coins, you click on spot. When you first start, it will be on strict. So these are the 4 that are there, okay? You look at market cap. So market cap of PERS 118 mil, Jeff 6 mil, H Fund 25, points 4. Okay. You click on PER because spot. And now my recommendation whenever you work in this protocol is use what's called be a market maker, which means use limit orders. Do not use market taker, use market maker. I'm going to vet to see how much of a change this makes, but the first time I was using this protocol last week, I only did, well, almost always I did market orders versus limit orders. And I found out, obviously, by listening in the Discord and on Twitter, that market makers are likely to get a better point conversion because you add to their order book, which makes sense. We see the same thing with a lot of dexes. I don't know why I didn't make the connection for a perpetual dex. It never got punished on orderly. Orderly just made a bunch of bad habits for me. Let's just be honest. But then what you can do here is you can create limit orders. Here's the order book, and you can sort of buy your purr token. Now, let's say you want to go gamble later, or when I say gamble, like, you heard, hey, from one of those guys that you want to potentially see another token like CZ, which is likely going to have 2 airdrops associated with it, according to the alpha. You click on spot, go to all, and you're able to see all these other tokens, the market caps and whatever, okay? So they're all here. Like I said, don't go nuts. You look for new launches and potentially just, follow the alpha on HyperLiquid. I will share with you guys exactly how that looks like, okay? So I want to quickly get back to this. So number one objective for me is to hold the purr token, okay? I will rotate other launch profits into purr. I will dump the other new tokens, get airdropped into purr. I only want to hold that one token. Yes, like I will let the new tokens run up a tiny bit first and then sell, because this is what typically happens with meme coins. And when you get airdropped them, it is way better, because honestly, like, you are getting into the ground floor and your cost basis is 0, right? So this is what I want to do, and especially as the number of purr tokens in existence goes down, the value of ours will go up. Okay. The second thing I want you to look at is looking at opening up long-term longs on the majors, Sol, ETH, BTC. Do that on big dips. Don't just go on right now and say, oh my God, Sol's at 165. I'm going to put a long. Look for a big dip and then size appropriately. I'll show you how I've been doing it. You're going to be rewarded for leaving the trade open. The funding rates are very reasonable, unlike other platforms. And like I said, use limit orders. So be a market maker versus market orders, which is a market taker, as this has likely a better point ratio. Also, please just don't be an idiot. Don't be greedy. Like, a lot of people screw this up by, trying to do more and trying to buy too much at once. Don't do this. Let me show you what I did with Sol. So before I went to the gym, I went into this and I had opened up a 10 Sol at 159. It hit it. You see here, we're sitting at $50 right now, $50.30 plus. My funding is currently 6 cents. All time, I paid $1.94 for Sol. What's beauty about this, unlike LogX and Zeta, is it shows you all this stuff in a summary. So if I go to funding, okay, great. I paid $1.94 my all time for Sol. For ETH, I paid $15.49. This long has been open for like a few days. I'm gonna average down on this, but what I've done is I put open orders for Sol. So at 149, another 10. At 139, another 10. At 129, another 10. Right? I don't know if that's gonna get me more points. I'm testing all these things, but this adds to their order book, so I'm a market maker. You know what I'm saying? So this is some of the things I'm looking at. I hope that sort of makes sense. Now, going back to this, I would follow these 3 accounts on Twitter for HyperLiquid alpha and updates. The first is their Twitter. Reason for that is you want updates, okay? When they take snapshots, when things are going on, they let you know. Make sure you're following them. I see Crypto Cove, Whales Market, and a bunch of others are following them too. So definitely good approach. This, if you're wondering why Render USDC or USD is delisted, it's because the Render token on Sol is going live, right? This was happening, right? So July 12th, they announced Happy Points Friday, L1 points for week 6 have been distributed. Newcomers welcome to the HyperLiquid L1. That was last Friday. So this Friday, I expect the same thing. This happened at 12:12. So hopefully in 9 hours, I'll be able to tell you how many points I got. And I wish I could sort of do a control study. If I had like multiple accounts, one account with just purr, one account with this activity, I could do the math versus it's going to be convoluted. But still, my goal here is to have an kind of average strategy that gets the best returns for us. I hope that makes sense. All right. So then the other 2 is NMTD8. He's a massive purr holder now. He's like an affiliate. Like, he basically got 5 million purr today, or 5 million token. He's up 218K on this position. That position's worth almost $1 million, but like huge alpha, right? Like so early on CZ. So he bought CZ, so I bought some CZ as well. Like I said, like I don't buy like massive amounts. If I go back to this, what I bought $500 worth of CZ. Part of it is because of the alpha around CZ. Like if you look at it, they talked about there's 2 airdrops coming for this as well, the CZ token. Per bag hit 7 figures overnight, still a nice price to accumulate at, in my opinion. Yeah, of course. CZ hit a new all-time high. Some other H1Ps like Panda and Jeff on the move too, right? So he's doing the exact same thing, which is rotating profits into purr. Very, very good call, in my opinion. Like I said, you really want to make sure that you are focused on the right strategy here, right? Here they say ticker CZ on HyperLiquid thesis is reference to HyperLiquid being the decentralized Binance. Its monetization of the possibility CZ converts and posts about HyperLiquid. Also, there'll be 2 airdrops for CZ holding soon. Thanks for Poppy PNL for pointing this out. So lots of great alpha there. Make sure you follow him. Like I said, don't just blindly follow, but good information. Samurai Takedown is another sort of another good HyperLiquid alpha person, basically talking a lot about what's going on. And the metagame he's front running is new token airdrop announcement pump on HyperLiquid. So hey, it's coming out. Let's go jump in. Let's buy them. This is why you really got to be in the trenches here. Existing tokens added to the strict list pump. So if you see that, you jump in right away, because the strict list adds a ton more confidence. If you see a move, it's like, it's like basically getting a stamp of approval, right? TWAP buy orders and then the weekly snapshot pump. So every Friday, right? So huge news. And primary objective, accumulate purr. And then secondary objective is to accumulate points. Guys, there is such a bullshit thing going on right now on Twitter. I'm sure if you are trading meme coins, you see it. Every day I log on and I see people posting these fake P&Ls of $2 million on tokens and whatever. All these people do is go in Photoshop accounts trying to get you to jump into a pump and dump scheme so they can farm off you. That's literally that's the sickest form of PvP that's going on right now. And this is a way for you to no one's going to do the one sold to $1 billion like they're trying to show you. But with this, you can actually earn a ton of money. And I would be shocked if this purr token stays below $1 billion market cap. Shocked, especially with what's going on. On top of that, with all of just the airdrops coming to it. So guys, this is why I'm super bullish on HyperLiquid. This is why I believe that these things are so important. I'm so much in the belief of this that this is 3 a.m. in the morning, and I really wanted to get this out to you guys because I want you guys, whether or not you choose to follow and do this, or however you integrate this within your strategy, you feel confident in that. And honestly, I think this approach is incredible. Like I said, I just shared with you guys exactly what's going on. I will continue to share with you guys how things are going for me for HyperLiquid, sharing the alpha as we see it. Guys, meme coins are good, but meme coins you have to be early, and meme coins are sort of game of chicken, right? Unless you're like too big to fail, like things like Brett, Pepe, whatever. But if you are looking at other meme coins, pump and dumps, you never know when to quit. It feels like I'm playing that game on Rollbit where there's rockets taking off and then it just crashes and you got to exit before that. This, you don't have to do that. This, I hope you see this full strategy. I want you to go back to sort of everything we're doing here. How to get started. Number one thing, use the link in the description. Please use my referral code. If you do, you'll get the 4% discount. I'll get 10% of your fees or whatever, which are very low. Like I got 6 referrals and what did I get? Like 50 cents. So it's not really like getting me anything. But I'll show you guys. 7 traders referred, rewards earned 63 cents. So yeah, it's like next to nothing anyways, right? But but definitely helps. And we sort of, you get 4% discount. Deposit USDC from Arbitrum chain. I mentioned, Jupiter exchange is good. And we have trading floor. If you have any questions on when to open up longs and shorts and whatever. And on top of that, HyperLiquid, if you want to talk about things specifically to HyperLiquid, like purr token and whatever else like this. My opinion, Iron Nobody, is I would get a bit of purr right now. Don't buy all of it. It's hard for me to answer this question. Like I said, when did I buy my last purr? Let me just go into it. I'll share with you guys. So then that'll give you a better idea, because I'll always tell you the less risky thing to do. Why don't I just show you what I did, and then you can decide what you want to do. So let's see, trade history. Purr token, I bought 1841 purr at 19,746, which is like literally like 0.01% above where we are right now. So I don't know. Like my average cost was way lower before, right? So I bought in over double. So I bought in 60% of what my current position is at 0.01% from here. So I mean, I can tell you to average down, but guys, this is what I did. You do you. So it's up to you. Like I said, I don't want to be accountable for whatever happens. I'm sharing with you guys what I'm doing. So I bought into it for a couple reasons. Like I said, airdrop sizes, right? I want to earn points. Super undervalued in my opinion. Why would I wait for 500 million to jump in? That's just me. You know what I mean? I'd rather buy this than some other meme tokens. Like I bought Miggles on the, somebody said in the chat today, oh my God, Miggles, because Coinbase popped it up. I put like 0.1 ETH in it. And what happened? If I share over here, that's for me, that Miggles trade is a low confidence trade. But despite that, it's up like $60. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not putting in thousands. That's where I would really dollar cost average and whatever, right? It's whatever. It's sort of I can go to zero thing. This is not like that at all. This is seriously it is seriously in my opinion, a big opportunity. And I will keep giving you guys updates on what's going on with HyperLiquid. Like I said, I will not be talking about this anymore in the public. I don't need their referrals. I don't need any of these things. The number one goal here is for us to continue to farm this. And the strategy on how to do this is super eloquent. So avoid vaults when possible. For me, the money I'm putting in here, I'm using in perp and spot. Yeah. So Jordan, if that's the case, don't touch the trade. Don't touch the trading side at all. Focus on purr token. That's the first thing I'll tell you to do. Focus on purr token and spot. And what I want you to do is, if you want to learn a bit about this, and we'll talk about how you can do the perp decks in a second. But if you focus on actually the holding the purr token, getting those airdrops, letting them run a bit and selling them off, looking at the same strategy of, hey, right now we've got, 4 tokens on the strict list for spot. When another one's coming up there, they make the announcement, then I'm going to go in and buy whatever that is, because I suspect that it's going to increase the market cap significantly, right? And then rotate your profits of some of these things into purr token. That's sort of how I'm doing it. Purr token is like my major here. That's the number one thing. Check how to check your points. All you got to do is click this button that says points at the top, and you click on it, and it will show you. Right now, snapshot will be points will distribute in 72 hours. I'll know tomorrow. Got 4 points for week 1, which is pretty abysmal, but I did everything wrong. So hopefully we'll see a much better thing. And then Jordan, the second thing I would do is, if you've got a perp dex, what I would do is make sure that you're not, because the way this works is it's using what's called a cross margin, which means that it will look at all the value in your account versus just how much you open the trade for. So what I would do is never make sure your liquidation price is 1/4 of whatever I'm very risk averse. So for example, if I opened a SOL position, the max SOL position I would want to have, if I go to trade, and let's say I'm going to do this. Okay, so I'm looking over here and I'm like, all right, I want to buy some SOL tokens. So I'll type this in. I'll type in SOL. All right, so it's 162. So I'm now on the right. I'll just do this here. So I'm going to show you what I did, by the way. I thought I pressed 1. So I'm here. I pressed 1. Like, I did something, and basically it went to 100%, right? Which makes my liquidation price 158. So then if the price of SOL went to 158.59, I get liquidated, right? Which obviously I don't want to do, right? Order value is 200,000, right? The fee is like big for that because it's 0.03% of 200K, right? Now, instead, what I do is let me go back down, and let's say I put in 50 SOL at the price of 163 to go long, right? You have to make sure you do this very slowly, right? So I look at long shorts, in this case long. I make sure I pick limit so I can pick the price. You pick mid, it will give you the price at the middle of this, or you can pick whatever price you want. Now, if you're starting off, actually, I'll get that in a second. So let's say I pick 163, okay, 164. My liquidation price is NA because I got like over 10K in this. But let's say I put in like 28K order value. The liquidation price is now $108.91, which means that if the price goes to 108, I get liquidated. So 170, so it's hard to. But I'm still too much of a coward. So I'd probably make it like here, 79, 80. And that lets me get 109 SOL at this price. Okay, that keeps you safe. Obviously, the more positions you open, the more your liquidation price will go up because it's based on how much money you have in your account. This is why I like to do 25% because it allows me to keep buying more of others. So one thing you can do, Jordan, I'll give you an example. Let's say you're in my position right now. What you can do is say, okay, great, I'm going to buy, I don't know, let me do 10. Oh, sorry, let me do at 160, let me buy 10 SOL. Great. I'll put a limit order there. And then now let me look, and at 140, let me go and make 10, right? And one more thing that I want to add to this, because it, I was being lazy when I did the 10. And if I was being a lot more if I was using more of a methodological strategy, which I should be doing actually, is I would be going over here. I'd be looking at the charts and going, okay, great. Where is my support resistance, right? So I would go down to 151. That would be my next open. Then 142, my next open. 137, my next open. 130.5, my next open. 120.48, my next open. And by the way, guys, if you're wondering, those charts are all available. They're all available in the Discord. So just click on crypto charts, hashtag crypto charts in Discord, and you'll have access to my major charts, which includes like sort of the zones, right? And we can go here. Let's go to the 1 day time frame. So this is for SOL, right? So you can see here, these are sort of the major points. And obviously this is the 186, but whatever. Does that make sense? And yeah, grateful for insights. How am I up from Toronto? Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, I went to the gym. I went to bed, by the way. I took a nap from like, I had some booster juice. I went to bed at 5:30 or 6 p.m. Woke up at like 10:30. Went to the gym for 2 hours on Stairmaster because I did legs yesterday and chest the day before. So yeah. Oh, cool. You're logging from Mississauga? That's where I live. I live in Mississauga too. Anyways, I hope this helps a lot. I got to get up because I promised my wife I would take her out for breakfast tomorrow morning. But I hope this helps, guys, and looking forward to hearing how this goes for you. Let's talk about this more in hashtag HyperLiquid in the Discord. Let's talk about how to trade better in hashtag trading floor. We got ETH Maxi, who's actually a very good trader, very good chartist, let's call it. Chartist, is that a word? But I think this is an incredible opportunity, guys. Like I don't. You rarely hear me talk with this excitement about a lot of things. The last time I was this excited about a protocol, it was ZK Sync, and then, I mean, I got 30K or whatever off them. I know a bunch of people got 30K. I think this one is solid. And I'm very excited about the purr token. And like I said, for me, the purr token comes first, earning points comes second, because I think that the purr token is going to emulate a lot of what Adam and Juno and Osmo did for us last cycle. So yeah, awesome. All right, yeah, thanks a lot. I don't know, buddy. Thanks a lot for everybody who came and watched. And by the way, let me in, guys, if you watch this now or you're watching this later, post in hashtag HyperLiquid. Let me know if you think this video should make it to YouTube in a month, or maybe we should just wait until, you know, we're celebrating with the rewards. All right, awesome. All right, yeah, you have a good one too, Sorenzo. Nice word. Yeah, exactly. All right, awesome. Thanks so much, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.